Here we are, everybody. We have just a few minutes until the tournament starts. We see some of the best players. Whoops. Looks like my Twitch was open. Always fun. We have some of the best players in the world coming in here for the Asian Weekend Tournament. I'm going to be casting the entire tournament throughout the game. What we're going to be doing is hopping into each of these rooms, spectating the best players for each of these games. As the games continue, we will be watching the first and second place players continue to battle it out. If for whatever reason we don't see the players kind of moving along, we will be skipping from player 1, player 2 down to 3 and 4 and so on and so on. During those 3-minute breaks, I'm going to go into the unit modifications that we see each of the players playing, discuss a little bit about how these different units are interacting with each other, and then finally talk a little bit about the strategy. It should be a lot of fun. Alrighty, let's see who we've got playing in here. Now, let's also talk a little bit about the units. We have not seen a lot of cheese in the mini tournaments, but right now we're seeing a lot of Stormcallers coming into the backline in the meta, and we're seeing a lot of Rhino spam. Now, the Rhino spam can be countered quite well with hackers. Of course, anything that shoots down from the sky will eventually kill a Rhino, but there are some upgrades that can turn a Rhino into just a real killing machine. Marksmen, of course, are a good, steady imprint into the meta. Steel balls have become a little bit more common as we're seeing more Rhinos develop. It is going to be a very interesting tournament. 2 minutes left until we can actually enter into the game. Let's see what we've got going on Twitch. We'll need to make some early predictions. I am thinking that... do I have the ability to watch? No. Interesting. Yeah, this should work. Perfect. Alrighty. 1 minute, 30 seconds left. I probably should have brought my laptop in here just to have the secondary screen, but I was a little concerned about the internet. I do have a new wired setup, which should make a difference, potentially, but it may or may not. We're already a bit behind here. Not dropping any frames so far. Phenomenal. And looks like everything is good. Just having an issue actually bringing the Twitch up into an easy viewable way. Having to operate a little bit behind where I would like to be, but we had a slow start this morning. 30 seconds left. Should be good, should be great. Eventually things will open and hopefully run. I'm just assuming everything is going well. I'm not hearing from anybody saying it's going poorly. So let's hope. Here we are, 6 seconds. Alrighty. Oh, it's old Wei. Fantastic. Wei has been Wei has been in quite a few of these games. Safe has been in quite a few games. I like to see W returning. But let's actually just hop in. I have not seen Wei play in a long time. Well, by long time, I mean since Wednesday. Alrighty, phenomenal. Looks like both players trying to decide what to go with. I like the supply specialist early. Most likely this game is going to take a little while. Both players opting for sledgehammers and marksmen. Double crawler, I like having the extra meat. Both players opting to grab a bit of extra meat. I do like this early play from, who is this? Christian 1, I'm going to say. I'm just going to call him C. I do like C's ability to put out some more meat, but also grabbing a Stormcaller. He knows that the enemy team is fairly slow. This is also a great positioning. What he can do is potentially grab a range increase. A lot of players love to back their crawlers right up to this tower. Now, what we've been seeing a lot recently within the meta is having these Stormcrawlers, Stormcallers with the range increase, just able to instantly bombard and kill the tower. He could put another one right here and have it shoot right over and instantly destroy. Looks like these snipers are going to be making some good work. I was just answering a couple of quick messages. I do like these tanks. They will be eventually able to clean up these crawlers, but not before going down themselves, and that will leave these Phoenix open just to clean up the shop. Great play here. I do like this early opening Stormcaller. Having them in the front, they will just aggregate damage over time. Stormcallers are one of the slowest leveling, but their levels do matter. As those missiles continue to do damage, it does just add value over time. This is very much a value over time approach, which is kind of what we see going for in this case. Subsidized Stormcrawlers, I wouldn't be surprised if Wei also went with some Stormcallers here. Or, oh no, it did go with the Stormcallers. We see triple Stormcaller coming out, double Stormcaller for Wei. This is going to turn into a missile-on-missile game. Whoever wins the ground war will win the air war. What is most important here are these marksmen. He has to protect the marksmen if he has any chance of winning. He does have the meat on ground to take care of the ground. He just can't let all of his units instantly get bombarded. Now, we do not see the range upgrade from either player. Having that range upgrade will bring the other Stormcallers into range a little bit quicker, and that could be the deciding factor. Stormcaller death, both will die pretty much immediately. Taking a sniper with them, unfortunate. He needs those snipers to make it through, and this is once again going to the corner for the red player. Phenomenal plays. We see the Phoenixes going down on the left-hand side, but that is just too little too late. He does not have the ability to take them out. And these tanks, although decent against Stormcallers, they're actually in a good range for the Stormcallers to fight back, and one barrage will normally take out a tank or deal significant damage to it. With unupgraded tanks, they don't one-shot Stormcallers either, so this could be an issue. Steel Ball, Amplifying Core, Nanotech for the red player. Interesting choice here. And we see, what was that? Aerial Specialist. I do like the Aerial Specialist from Wei. The enemy player only has one unit that shoots up, and this is his Phoenixes. Phoenixes are pretty good against Overlords. However, if his snipers can get in range on time, they will kill it. I love this. Putting a unit right at the front will pull all three of these Stormcallers aggro right onto this unit. Pushing it back a little bit, he is just outside of range here, and he knows that. Going for the long form, not sure I would do that in this case, just because these Stormcallers will shoot right at the initial units, and then they'll hit the ones in the back, taking off about half of the unit. Now, he was able to push all of these tanks out of the way, which gives him a lot of space. The initial crawlers, though, winning the center will completely collapse the flank, and unfortunately, Stormcallers, any air unit will prioritize shooting the ground. It is just what they do, and that is going to potentially... Oh, he needs one more shot. Alrighty. Wei has won this. The blue player, the North American Mini Tournament Advanced Group player, number 4. We saw him play great games last Wednesday. Is going to take this. Now he needs to think, how does the enemy counter this? The red player, Mr. Chris here, is going to be thinking about more anti-air capabilities. He already has some pretty good answers in the Phoenix unlocked, so he doesn't have to spend that extra cash. One of the things that we do see quite a bit in these higher-end tournaments, or players that have been playing a long time throughout the beta and things, is that they don't tend to unlock a ton of units. Let's see what their picks are here. Advanced Firepower, interesting. That extra 200 damage for Wei could be going on to another mothership. or Overlord, and opting for the Nano Repair Kit for Chris. Grabbing some more Phoenixes and a unit of Mustang. I do like the Mustang. We have double Mustangs also coming out for Wei. Both players anticipating each other, knowing that he's going to go for more Phoenixes. We see Wei pick up a couple of Mustangs that can counter somewhat. The problem that I have here, and a great play on Christian's part, is he knew that he's winning the ground war. If he continues to win the ground war, he buys a lot of time that this Overlord will not be shooting at the units that he needs it to. Now, we did see quite a few players recently going for the movement option. What this does is allow the crawlers to strafe. See how every single shot there missed? This is a phenomenal tactic. We've seen it used by rhinos quite a bit in the North American mini tournament, and it's making another appearance here. Look at those units just chase these crawlers down. 3 full batteries of the Stormcallers lost in the sauce, shooting at nothing. Phenomenal play. Is it enough? He is going to win the center. The left-hand flank has collapsed, but if he takes out this Phoenix, he is hot to trot. There's no longer anything with any meaningful firepower that can shoot up as these last 2 Mustangs drop. This will go in the way of Wei. A phenomenal play. Absolutely phenomenal. And a quick win. Round 4, both players neck and neck with each other. Wei going with the parasitic ammo. I do like having more crawlers come out. This just pulls enemy fire, even though the crawlers die exceedingly quickly if they're unleveled and unaugmented. It does draw aggro of all of the nearest units. You can have one crawler pull 500 units to all shoot at it once. Of course, different units have different attack times, reload times, and intervals and speeds, so the crawler will probably not get shot by all of them, but it does pull the aggro. Both players picking up the parasitic ammo. A great choice here. We see more Stormcallers with the parasitic ammo. Will he go? Okay, phenomenal. Putting out some crawlers. These crawlers will be reduced here. Going with another unit of Mustangs. The range increase on the Mustangs, I do love to see it. And it looks like both players opting for some funny business. We will see this more and more throughout the tournament. It is a great thing to do as players continue to play through this game. I think that is a great counter for the Stormcallers, who tend not to have the interval necessary. We also see the Sentry coming out and completely ruining most of these crawlers, but not getting all of them. And that's the reason why he placed these crawlers in a straight line, because it normally does not kill the entire unit. If you're interested in doing a little bit of side shenanigans, I would highly recommend it. It is a little bit more compressed of an area. The center engagement going in the way of the red player, and we see him pushing through in a dominant fashion. The range increase on these Mustangs making a big difference, but he just needs to shoot down this last Phoenix. He does get it. Will the Overlord stand strong? The answer is yes. There's just not enough anti-air to deal with it currently, but the red player will and has the capability to make this work. Eventually cleaning up the ground war and moving forward onto the last Stormcaller. Neither player opting to go very heavily into crawlers. Not the worst choice in the world. But I would like to see a little bit more in the way of crawlers. Both players picking up the senior attack specialist. Having it just is a flat upgrade to your entire army. There's no reason not to get it. That 30% tack increase, if you don't have it and the other player does, your units will always lose if they're on the same level. We do see another crawler coming out here just to deal with his crawler. Both players opting for funny business just to get rid of these Stormcallers abilities. Not upgrading this Overlord. A very interesting choice. Choosing to go with the fire. He knows he's been losing the ground war. He does not have a huge amount of crawlers that can be sacrificed in the flames. Remember that these flames do damage to allied forces. Quite often we see players, especially in the lower echelons, placing Stormcallers near the front, bombing the enemy, killing the enemy, and then their own crawlers running through the flames to their demise. These Phoenixes with the range upgrade will be a great counter to the Overlord. It's going to have to chase through a ton of fire. These tanks holding strong in the center, still haven't leveled. Mustang's doing pretty well. All of the snipers leveling up. This just helps them take out those Phoenixes a little bit quicker, but more importantly, if a heavy unit comes down, this is great anti-large. Also, the upgrade on the sniper allows it to take out that tank in one shot. This guy being unaugmented took 2 shots. Big fire coming down in the center. Those Stormcallers making a great show for themselves. The flames cleaning up the Mustangs in the center. Mustangs on the right going down, but that parasitic ammo making a big difference here. Whatever a Stormcaller kills will create more crawlers. And this is going to be the first win in a couple of rounds for the red player. And it's going to be a considerable amount of damage. Wei is in the danger zone now. This could be the last round of the game. Both players opting for the ranged specialist. They need it if they're going to make it live. Going with the ranged upgrade as well with the snipers. Both players putting down the sentries to take out the crawlers in the center. And opting for more snipers. A very interesting choice. Right now, the ground war is coming down to these Mustangs in the back. So he's choosing to go with a lot more snipers. Also seeing the flame upgrade coming out for these Stormcallers. Wow. This is just going to be a bloodbath in the center. I don't think many units will be coming in from behind, which could be an issue for both players. They rely on these Mustangs as their follow-up cleanup. Now, we haven't seen this nano repair kit land on anything. This potentially being the last play of the game, I'd like to see that come out on something. There's no reason to hold on to it if the game does end. Of course, if it doesn't end, then hey, maybe he'll play a fortress or something that could make use of it. Lots of fire in the center. More fire going to be coming out all around the shop. All of these crawlers will die, even without the Mustang support. Unfortunately, these flames will kill any crawlers that these Stormcallers would create. So kind of a little bit of anti-synergy there. We're seeing a collapse on the right-hand side, but a slow resurgent. Having these range on the snipers does make a difference. He's able to pop all of the Phoenix. Sniper going down. But a quick victory on the left means that all of the units on the right that remain will be slowed down. These snipers do outrange the Stormcallers, and a soft victory going to Wei. It is all to play for in what could potentially be the final round. One of these players will stand proud. Oh, both players thinking most likely about this top supply specialist, but going for the incendiary bombs. They both don't think that the game will continue long enough to make that worthwhile. They also need to be thinking, what is my enemy going to pick here? It is possibly... He's choosing to scrap a unit. Very interesting. Going for the double fortress. Phenomenal play by Wei. I'm not sure they will survive long enough, but opting for the shields. These shields do absorb the fire. It would be naturally placing this barrier here will eliminate the fire in the center. That is not a bad play. I'd like to see this sniper get an upgrade. Instead, opting to upgrade the Mustangs. Great choices. Popping down some more units. In the top hand scene, we see more Phoenixes. Not a bad choice here. Upgrading the Phoenixes with shields, and also upgrading the Phoenixes. There is not a lot of anti-air on the field besides these snipers. We see double... Wow. The front line is just going to be a bloodbath, as always. The missiles coming out. But luckily, Wei, anticipating the missiles coming down, he was able to play a fortress just in time. Now, this fortress will just eat a lot of damage. It won't be enough to actually make contact with the front lines, but it does eat a lot of damage. Those are shots that would normally be going out onto the snipers onto the frontline stormcallers, onto these Mustangs that are instead being eaten by those fortresses. But it is not enough. The shielding on the Phoenix is making a big difference for the anti-sniper play. Is it enough? It is just barely. GG. Great games in that tourney. Let's see what else we have going on here. Looks like we have one more game. Oh no, we have several more. Let's see if we recognize any of the players here. I would like to see McQueen. I'd like to see if W's game is still going on. W did not. W is still playing. Let's see what he's got. W was in the North American tournament. He showed extremely well for himself, or herself. Advanced firepower coming out for both players. We see melting points on the front line to take out these Vulcans and Overlords. We're seeing a huge push towards the front for both these players, not utilizing the backfield very much. We see another Vulcan coming down. Now, these Vulcans do have the incendiary bombs, which will pretty much decimate the front line of both players. How is he going to deal with these melting points? Tomansky as a great character. Let's see what's going on. Opting for some more Mustang. I do like this. The Mustang having a little bit more splash damage could be good later in the game, as there is a lot of meat on the ground right now, but these melting points will just chew through any shielding that the enemy or that W can place out. Alrighty. These Vulcans making a great showing for themselves, actually chewing through quite a bit of the melting points. Unfortunately, these melting points will heal up as they continue to kill things like these Overlords. Seeing a big push in the center by W, and it looks like a win on the right-hand side as well. This massively upgraded Overlord making a big showing for itself. And a quick win for W. That combat was fast and bloody, just the way we like it. And a great way to play. Let's see, laser sights coming out for both players. I want to see where these are deployed. Right now, the units don't really need any range. Opting for Wasps here from W, a very interesting choice. He needs to make sure that these units have the ability to move out. So it looks like he chose the Wasps just to get the shielding. Not a bad play. Opting for another range upgrade on these melting points. I don't mind that. And it looks like deploying some more Mustangs in the back, just so that he has something to deal with. Ooh, the nuke coming down. What we saw last time was this Mustang, or this Overlord, just living in this corner for a very long time. I don't know. Ooh, and the fire coming down. We don't have any shielding here from W. Tomoski hoping to win this one in a big way and knock W out. It is potentially possible. But this is a lot of money spent on non-upgrades, on non-units, meaning next turn, W may have an advantage if he doesn't lose it all right here. This nuke will come down in about 10 seconds. Unfortunately, these Overlords and the Vulcans are in the path of the nuke. Melting point going down before it can take out the Vulcans. It does kill the majority of his units on the right-hand side. The units on the left going down due to the firestorm. And this Vulcan will probably not stand proud here for much longer. Phoenix is coming in, doing what damage they can. And that is a win here for Tomoski. Now, the red player had placed a lot of money into these objectives, into one-time use items. W needs to be thinking about what comes next. Vulcan Descent coming out for Tomoski here. He has a lot of usable abilities, and the Ion Blast could make a huge difference just tearing through this area. I would love to see some shielding, opting for the Photon emission. This will make his units extremely tough, at least in the beginning. Able probably to survive even this sentry turrets. We don't have any more cash. He's opting not to go for shielding because of all of these melting points. But that does... Oh, there we go. One shield in the center to protect his weaker units. Tomoski opting for a few upgrades, grabbing some Stormcallers. Not a bad choice. Is he going to use his Ion Blast? It needs to come down. He's probably thinking about the best place to use it. Honestly, I would collapse this left-hand flank. We see the Vulcan coming down in the back line. There is one sentry here that will damage the enemy Vulcan and slow it down. However, it will not kill it. Unless he has the sentry upgrade. He does not. Ion Blast coming down on the left. Not a bad play. Lots of missiles just across the front. Once again, this is a lot of money used on non-units, on non-upgrades. And we see a lot of units still looking for an upgrade on both sides. These tanks have kind of served their purpose, so I get why they're not being upgraded, but having these upgraded missiles, having some upgraded Mustangs could make a difference. We see more Mustangs coming down. Phenomenal plays here just to have these guys in the back, able to survive for a long period of time. The Photon coming down and saving the life of a lot of these units. Unfortunately, just tickling this Overlord. Not enough to deal any damage to it, and these Photon overcharges making a big difference. Here's the Vulcan in the back, though, just to cripple him right when he doesn't need it. This is, again, a one-time use item, but we're seeing a lot of these one-time use items being the devastation of W. He needs to start thinking, I'm ahead, what loses me the game? And what loses him the game is a couple of tricksy units. Will it be enough to knock him out? The answer is no, but it is slowly pulling Tomoski back into the game. We'll have to see how long that will last. We're going to be able to see a few more of these Wasps come out. The Wasps do have the shielding, and they will screen for this Overlord. Going down very quickly, not giving a lot of health. It will be enough to take out one melting point. Will it be enough to take out another? It's going to be tight, but I believe... Wow! The Overlord taking it with that shot from the cannons. Phenomenal. That puts Tomoski in a really tough spot. This is very much do or die at this point. Both players opting for the orbital bombardment. W's had enough games, having things coming down in his backline, upgrading the Overlords. They are going to be significantly tougher, and they are his claim to fame right now. Upgrading the Vulcans as well. Remember, all of his units are going to have significantly more health because of this Photon emission. We see Rhinos coming down with the detonation. Not a bad choice. That detonation can kill allied units. But what he could potentially do... Well, I don't know if the Rhinos would be worthwhile in the backline. I do like this in the center, though. The Rhinos will have a lot of health. They'll pull all of these units together, and they'll die. We see mass shielding coming down. He's nervous about this, whatever it's called, the missiles. We do have the orbital bombardment coming down for both players. Where is Tomoski going to play it? Right in the right-hand flank. And another on the left. It's going to be a real tough game here. I do want to give it to W, at least initially. We see some sentry turrets. And another sentry. Not bad play. Oh, and these crawlers in the back line turning the melting points at the wrong time. That's exactly what I like to see. Orbital bombardments coming down on both players. Not dealing enough damage to really make it worthwhile for either of them. Those shields making a big difference. We will see some hitting Vulcans. One landed on the melting point. And this looks like a steady march forward for W. GG, well played. The Vulcan going down on the left to the melting point is going to give it just a little bit more health, but it's a little bit too late. These extra wasps just standing proud. Grabbing that unit of wasps just to get the upgrade so that he could have these fully upgraded overlords is a very interesting play by W. We will have to keep an eye on him throughout the tournament. Next round will be starting in 3 minutes. I'm going to take a quick break to grab some more water, and we will see you shortly. Let's take a look at our leaderboards, though. We have 201 America being in the front currently against Jive. It is all still to play for, though. We will see who's going to be playing who next. Who would I like to see? Safe has made an amazing show for himself. Previously, he was in against the Frog. I don't see the Frog here. I don't know how to actually pronounce his name, unfortunately, but his username is his icon is a little blue frog. I will see you all shortly. I'll be right back. Bye. Alrighty, and we are back. Let's take a look-see. I would like to see America, just because he's played very well for himself. Let's take a look at his game. Now, it does look like opting for the marksman reinforcements on one side and the giant specialist on the other. An interesting choice by the red player. We could see a purchase of the rapid resupply, and then possibly going into a fortress. It's very cheesy, but it would do well against the enemy team's composition. He has some anti-horde and these sledgehammers. They are currently outmatched by the snipers and opting to go for some Fang. Fang over crawlers. An interesting choice, just because these Fang don't often survive very much. Generally, we like to see more crawlers. Having them positioned in the back here is very common. We do have the cheese where if the America wants to, he could put some Stormcallers right here. They'll immediately shoot down. Oh, no, that will now be canceled by these sledgehammers. The red player thinking about it and putting his sledgehammers a little bit more forward. These units are fairly slow, fairly tanky, but they will just chew through all of these Fang. I do like the purchase of the double sniper here by America. He has to think about what takes out these arc lights, what takes out these sledgehammers. It is very simply marksman. Another great choice are the Phoenixes, but Phoenixes will eventually get countered if he does have the range upgrade and the air ammunition. Crawlers coming in. Crawlers are going to be pulling the entire enemy force to shoot at the wrong thing. These Fang, though, standing proud in the center and on the flanks. But will it be enough? These tanks are deployed in a pretty good way just to eat up a lot of fire from the arc lights, who just don't do a lot of damage. Great anti-horde units, not so great against the tanks, at least to start with. A quick win for America, but it is still very much to play for. Okay, I was wondering if America had voted for himself. You do see that quite a bit, which I find very funny. America opting very quickly to go for the tech specialist. Oh, wow, and a red player choosing to skip. Skipping does give you that extra $50 advantage. It could make a little bit of a difference here. We're looking at a slight disadvantage this round for America, but here's the Stormcallers. This is exactly what I was looking for. That $50 was used to unlock them, to pull them out. Now, where is he going to place him? America opting for some more sledgehammers. And a unit of crawlers. Not a bad idea. He just needs some crawlers to hold the center. These Stormcallers will make a difference. All of the red players' units are in the center here. If we can get a mass bombardment on the center, then it would be devastating. I do like these snipers being in the front here, taking out those tanks early. Wow. This sniper having 3 tanks to his name at the beginning of the engagement is phenomenal. These Stormcallers, though, will start to make some work happen. Is it too little too late? Wow, a devastating barrage by the Stormcallers on the right-hand side. I don't think it will be enough, unfortunately, for them, but they do outrange snipers, at least without a range upgrade from the snipers. He does have the ranged capabilities, so at least they will be 1-for-1, but a quick win again here from America. So far, these deployments are making a big difference. I think getting more meat, portable shield coming down from the red player, and deployment specialist from America, or Armuria. Excuse me, I've been mispronouncing his name this whole stream, and I apologize. But Armuria coming down with some interesting plays, grabbing some more meat. 2 units of crawlers, and a unit of tanks. I do like the ability to deploy more units. It just means that you can eventually overwhelm the opponent. Now, we do see double Stormcaller coming out for the red player. A very interesting choice. Oh, here comes the sentries. Now, this sentry will clean up the whole thing just due to the way that those crawlers ran. Also cleaning up the Fang and an upgraded sniper. That is unfortunate, but we do have enough crawlers here just to kind of get in and start messing with things. They won't be enough. They will be enough to hold the center. Does he have enough to actually push through now? The left flank falling for W, but the right flank being one for our red player here. We see the center kind of pushing into the right, which is not what we would want. We want these guys to just rush the center. The tanks will stand strong and push through into the Stormcallers. These little Fang, they're slow, and that might actually be the thing that wins it here for them. If they're able to take out that tower, this sniper will be able to take quite a few more Stormcaller hits, and this looks like it might be a win. Oh, he needs another shot. He might do it. He's definitely going to die on this barrage. And this sniper is a little low on HP. Sniper's not the quickest thing in the world. Ouch. That will most likely do it. He needs to get these little Fangs running. I'd love to see it. Oh, they're close. Go, my little guys. You can do it. Stand proud. Unfortunately, they are ranged units. If they were crawlers, they would actually be able to win this. But no. The Stormcaller making the first win for our top hand player, the player in red. A fantastic job. Now, we did see the fortress unlock here. Very interesting choice. He needs to think, do I make my fortresses cheaper, or do I give it more attack? Do I go for a quick bombardment? He doesn't have any steel balls, so there's no real point in playing. Opting for the giant specialist. We see an overlord come out, and we see 2 fortresses. Fantastic plays. Now, unfortunately, There is absolutely nothing that shoots up. Quite a few players forgetting to worry about the aerial game. And we are seeing... What else did he play here? He spent a lot of money on this Overlord, that's for sure. I do like that. Ah, there it is. The crawler's in the back. I was like, he can deploy 2 more units, so he might as well. Pulling these crawlers away, pulling these storm crawlers away is honestly a great play. They spent at least 2 barrages waiting on these crawlers in the back. It's a $100 investment that will repay itself every single turn. Now, there will not be anything to shoot this Overlord, so this is just kind of a delayed outcome. But the snipers will get themselves a huge amount of XP for killing a fortress. This guy able to level up now. And he will be relying more and more on these snipers to continue to deal with these fortresses. Unfortunately, he needs to grab something that has long-range capabilities and also being able to get rid of hordes. He could easily just grab 2 units of Stormcrawlers himself with the flame upgrade. That would be enough. Some of the crawlers making it in here. And now we just wait for the inevitable demise of these units. However, this this Overlord will get a mass amount of XP. There it is, for taking out the fortress. This is all just free XP here for this Overlord. It's going to take it a while. Each barrage netting it 20 to 50. But it is a little bit of cash. I do love this. It's not going to be enough to level it up fully. In the last 30 seconds here, it's just spinning away. Leaving one on the flank. 3, 2, 1. Red player taking a little bit more damage than Armeria, but not significant. Armeria's choosing to go for the laser sights. Not a bad play. This would help his Overlord just be able to deal some damage earlier. Opting for triple Overlord plus another, or 2 Overlords plus another unit of crawlers. Grabbing the barriers and some Phoenixes. I do like to see the Phoenix play here. He's currently winning the ground wars. These Phoenixes deployed to take out crawlers. Not bad. Honestly, just having them kill these crawlers delays their entrance onto the front line. Whew. By delaying the entrance onto the front line, he's going to be able to clear up most of these ground units. And I do like these turrets. It will just kill both these crawlers. Oh, but we see the delay on these crawlers. Interesting choice here. Survive, or having a little bit more than half the unit survive. Remember, crawlers come in at $100 a piece, so keeping half of them alive may have been worth that $50 investment. Now, this is where we're going to draw issue. Is that these Phoenixes will be shooting the units on the ground, but those units on the ground will most likely, oh, maybe not. I was going to say that they would most likely die before the Overlord, but actually having these crawlers run back by Ameria, then re-enter the battlefield, gave the Phoenix something else to shoot on the right, and the sniper support is enough to actually take down those 2 Phoenixes before they get in range of our lovely doubly Overlords. Now, this Overlord will have enough XP this turn to upgrade. Taking out the command center and the research centers do give a huge amount of XP for units, but neither of these Overlords being able to tick over this round. Is this a friendly tank? Look at him go! He's gonna make it! That guy is probably so happy. Like, he was not part of the battle. He doesn't know what the heck was going on. All right, it is now do and die for our top player. Okay, very quick pickups. Going for the enhancement mod just to make it cost no supplies. We can't see it come out on him. Now, we have seen this before by quite a few players opting for a Wasp and then getting the Wasps with the upgrade. Not a bad play. We still have quite a bit of cash left for both players. What is the red player going to do in this situation? Going for more splash damage, not a bad idea, just to win the ground war. Leveling up one of his fortresses just to be able to take a little bit more punishment. And we see mass wasps coming down. He's really hoping to win this air war, but more importantly, defend against these extra phoenixes that have come out. He has chosen not to play the enhancement module yet, just because he's probably going to use it on one of these overlords, and he wants to be sure that he puts it on the right overlord. We still see $300 going up to $500, going back down to $100 for this quick upgrade for the anti-air barrage. Phenomenal play here, just because these wasps will get chewed apart by those missiles from the overlord. Now, the overlord's missiles can overshoot in the anti-air barrage, and that could be an issue. Once again, these run plays by the crawlers are going to save the majority of that unit. And the anti-air barrage going off early on wasps that didn't need to die. Those are just the spawned wasps. They're taking a lot of damage here for the overlord. All of those phoenix shots could easily have been killing these overlords, but they haven't. The wasps standing proud, taking damage. Here comes the next set of them. The crawlers re-entering the battlefield. Unfortunately, these fortresses are going to draw a lot of fire from the overlords. And these overlords are probably not going to be able to clear it up in time before the stormcallers come in range, which the overlord will prioritize shooting. Having just a big, beefy boy does make a big difference, and I really like this play. Knowing that units shoot ground units over aerial units makes a big difference. If you're able to win the ground war, aerial units will only shoot at those on the bottom. Great play here by the red player. Both players now in the danger zone. This could be the last round. Ameria has invested heavily into his ranged air or into his aerial capabilities, and that has become an issue. With both of these coming down, we see the nuke. The nuke will land and take out a lot of these stormcallers, but I do like this double fortress play. He knows he just needs more life. The longer he lives on the ground, the more likely it is for his phoenixes to survive. I'd like to see an upgrade on that phoenix, opting for the resupply. Missiles coming down just to get rid of these crawlers early, not a bad choice. Life linking his sledgehammers. Now, these fortresses do a heck of a lot of damage, which normally do one-shot tanks. Having them life-linked is not something that we see many of the players do, just because they are hard-countered so quickly by anything that does scaling damage, that being melting points, sledgehammers, even somewhat by mind control units. Once they start to get low, you can capture all of them, have them turn around and do some damage. So, interesting plays here. Opting for another unit of wasps. He does have the deployment specialist, so he can actually put down 3 of them. Not a bad choice. Steam Fang, though. Fang are interesting. Just because they're slow, they will come onto the field. They will eat shots. Now we see these sentries coming down, dealing basically nothing. Stormcaller still turning the wrong way to eat up those shots. The shield not taking a lot of damage for the overlord here. Unfortunate. The first fortress will fall fairly quickly. The nuke going down and just decimating those stormcallers. Without those stormcallers in the backline to eat up shots once this is done, he does now have an issue where there could be enough wasps to actually take down the overlord, or sorry, to take down the fortress, and then have the overlords move forward onto the Phoenix. The Phoenix do not have the ability to respawn, and this looks like a win for... Yes, this will be a definite win for Ameria. Fantastic plays by both players. GG, well played. I wanted to support there, but I feel like that's unfair as a caster. Great games all around. Really good job, everybody. Let's take a look at Bretto Gecko versus Mutevo. Round 7. Let's just take a look at the field and get a little bit of a scope as to what the heck is going on here. We're seeing an Overlord come out. There is some anti-air, double Overlord. I like these Vulcans. We have a lot of aerial support. We're going with more crawlers in the back line. Interesting choice. There is not currently a Vulcan on this flank to deal with it. And now there is. We see mass crawlers for Greco Bartaco. Interesting choice from the blue player. Our red player here has what I would view as a slightly superior army. I do like that he's opting to put some Fang here just to die. They will turn out more, whatever they're called, more crawlers, but it's not really that big of a deal. Having this Vulcan turn initially is a bit of an issue, but it will be able to come in and clear those out. The Overlord's dealing enough damage to slowly get through that shield. The Rhino standing proud, it will do just an absolute amount of damage, killing off the research center, which will severely weaken the rest of the army. These Mustangs doing a great job taking out the Phoenixes. He does have quite a few Mustangs left, but they are no longer prioritizing it, and it looks like the majority of the units will waste their firepower on the Vulcan. It is enough, though. And with those down, those Phoenixes don't stand a chance against the rest of these mass Mustang and the two Overlords. Especially with the tower going down. This looks like a quick win here for the blue player, and quite a bit of damage, which will push our red player, Mutevo, into the danger zone. I consider the danger zone around 1500 HP, just because at that point, just random chance and surviving units are the things that can push you over the top. I would love to see the Renano repair kit coming out here, though Giant Hunter is an investment for the game. The Orbital Javelin isn't really... It does cut through the shields. I will give it that. It will do a lot of damage to those targets. I don't know. This is a tough choice. I don't like the skill specialist as much as I don't think I see many... we don't see many units with skills that are activatable or are activating quickly. This cannon would be good. Having the artillery shoot a little bit faster would be great. But besides that, not really super important. Red player opting for the Javelin. Or sorry, for the Nano. Blue player opting for the Javelin. Interesting choices. Javelin coming down just to nuke out this Vulcan. With the Vulcan out of the way, these crawlers do stand a chance of actually getting into the field. Going with double Overlord with the ability to distribute their mass. I do like this. The jump drive is great. He could have also upgraded these Overlords. He did choose to use his resupply, so we will have a little bit more cash, 300 bucks on ground. We do not see Mutevo activating. He's got 12 seconds to spend 550 bucks. 9, 8, 7, 6. What is he going to do? He's going to activate. He has $750. Potentially a blunder here. It looked like he had a lot of cash left over at the end of that fight. Once again, the Rhino standing proud momentarily. Its death will not be enough to take out that command center again, though. And we do see some Mustangs holding it up on the left. Mass Mustang here is going to be able to take out most of these Phoenixes, but the Stormcallers, enough to clear it. Now, if this Vulcan marches up the field in a big way, this could be it. This is going to be it. And does Greco survive? It's gonna be close. No, GG. Another phenomenal game. Round 2 still in progress. We have at least 1 or 2 players still kicking it. Do I recognize any of these players? No. So let's take a look at the Lull. Lull was the weekend tournament champion. Oh, I'd be interested in seeing if he won. How's Wei doing? Wei did lose. That's unfortunate. He's a great player. Do we recognize anybody else here? Safe, doing a phenomenal job. I do love to see that. He played great games on Wednesday. W took an unfortunate W. Luck Hard, doing a great job. We've seen him place very well before as well on Wednesday. I do love Bob. Bob is just a fun guy. Alrighty. Great places, everybody. Who is the one to beat, though? It looks like Jive is standing proud at the top. Ameria still doing a great job, 2-0. I would like to see if anybody else has what it takes. Lull could make the difference here. Alrighty, we're going to be on break for the next 2.5 minutes, but before we go there, let's talk about what we saw here from the Rhinos. Now, I have this set up as a little bit different, but that final blitz is an amazing mechanism, especially if you plan on using the Rhino cheese. What is the Rhino cheese? Quite simply, you take some of these, you move them around a bit, probably get rid of this, go with the final blitz, and maybe go with Mechanical Rage just to increase the speed, possibly Whirlwind. Photon coating is also worthwhile. This might be the setup that you'd want to use if you're going for that Rhino cheese. And what does that mean? It means that your Rhino is more likely to take out the units that are along those left and right hand flanks of the field with the Whirlwind. He's able to attack considerably quicker, he's a little bit faster, and he's got the photon coating. What that normally means is that he'll make it to the command center or the research station and then detonate. Normally he does die around that point in time, which just can eliminate the enemy units. The other thing that we have not seen very much is use of hackers. Hackers are a very interesting but very hard unit to pull off. What we have seen in some of the tournaments is that we go with mass hackers with the shields when the enemy goes with giant units. Getting 2 or 3 hackers on a giant early can make the difference, especially if you play the hackers early and there isn't a great counter to them. But we're going to be back here in just about, let's see, 1 minute. Once we're back, we will go live, probably casting Ameria again or Lull, depending on who's playing who. I look forward to seeing you all here in about 50 seconds. Alrighty, guys, let's hop into it. The players are set and stone. Bob could be an interesting player to watch, but I think yeah, you know what? We're going to watch Bob. They have already started their round. It should be quick, easy play. Let's see what we've got here. Cost Control Specialist, not something that's chosen very often. And the Quick Supply Specialist, not bad either. Cost Control Specialist is interesting. You receive an extra 100, but you're going to be reducing both your HP and your attack by 15%. So this is very much a mass over, or quality over quantity. Sorry, quantity over quality situation. Versus our Quick Supply Specialist, who will have the early advantage, at least for the first few rounds. After 2 rounds, we will start to see the blue player have quite a bit more on his side. I do love both players' avatars. Really interesting. We see Mass Phoenix, Arclights, and Fang versus Mustang, Phoenix, and Crawlers. The deciding factor here is going to be how much these Mustang actually deal with these Fang. Unfortunately, Arclights are fantastic against Mustangs. These Arclights will also just chew apart these Crawlers. Now, what we could also see is that there's still the option for the Stormcaller cheese. All of his units are right behind these towers, which means they will just detonate immediately if these Stormcallers are played. Phoenix going to be targeted by enemy Phoenix first. You'd love to see it. If he can win the Phoenix Wars, he's in a great spot. And yes, that will kill off 2 of his Phoenix. Looks like we're just trading sides here. Unfortunately, these two Phoenix will be able to chew through these two Phoenix before they come back online. Having that turn does buy him a little bit of time. And it's over. It looks like the right will be won, and this is phenomenal, as it does allow these arc lights just to have to take multiple shots to clear off all of the hordes, and that is going to be a quick win for Bob. Or sorry, excuse me, for the blue player. As the units get towards the center field, it becomes very difficult to keep track of who's who. We do definitely need to see some icons or a different color palette. I'd like it if these units were like heavily blue and the other ones were heavily red, but the game's still in development. We're seeing the missile strike coming down for both players. Now, having the extra cash here will make a difference. Oh, and the Stormcallers. Interesting play. Opting to be able to play even more. A great choice. I do love these Stormcallers. It will make a difference here. What are we going to see by our blue player? Yeah, the Stormcaller cheese. He knows it, and he's willing to use it. Oh, what a guy. Great play here. Mustang coming out. Mustang in the back line. What else is he going to pick? Another unit of crawlers. Not a bad choice. Having these crawlers, if they were right here, would just disrupt these Stormcallers. We see the missile coming out to kill off these Mustang in the rear. He still has $350. He could have gone for level 2 units. Instead of going for the range upgrade. Not a bad choice. These Stormcallers will end this pretty early. Tower going down. That's that. Phenomenal play. Seeing the enemy's deployment and knowing, you know what? I'm going to lose this unit of Stormcrawlers. But even if he puts a unit of crawlers right at the front, these Stormcrawlers will opt to target down the tower. He's got to pick up something that kills them immediately. This is going to be a devastating win here for Bob. I really liked it. He saw the ability, he reacted to it, and he made the right play. Stormcallers just devastating the Mustangs. There's not going to be enough here. Somehow his Phoenix is going down, though. And that's that. Quite a bit of damage coming in against the blue player. Great plays by Bob. What could we see in the back, though? It looks like Bob's backfield is open to some crawler spam. Going for the orbital bombardment from the blue player. Both players opting for the orbital bombardment. Now, the blue player does just have a lot of HP. Or sorry, a lot more cash. Orbital bombardment coming down. We see more Stormcallers and crawlers. What are we going to get here from our blue player? A unit of crawlers. Oh. Where did those storm crawlers go? Can he redeploy them? Oh no, he chose to recover them. Not a bad choice. Honestly, he knew that they were done. There was no reason to have them anymore. I like that a lot from Bob. Both players opting to eat their units because they knew that they weren't super useful at this point anymore. Both players having a significant amount of cash. But we do see a lot of money coming out here for our blue player. $300 left to spend for Bob. More Fang. Interesting choice. I like the shielding. He knows it's going to be dangerous. Grabbing even more units. A unit of Stormcallers. Not a bad choice. We have 2 Stormcallers coming out now. Still have $300 from Bob. He's got 30 seconds to spend it. What is he going to do? Opting for the splash damage. Interesting choice. There's not a lot of meat here, so it's not a bad idea. Just having these things be able to deal damage is great, and also increasing the range here a bit is great. It's not much. Missiles coming down, hitting only shield. If these Mustangs are caught out of position, oh, and they were. The shield did a lot to protect them initially, but not enough to keep them safe. We do see a quick turnaround, though, on this right-hand flank. The left going the way of the blue player. Bob holding out the right. Those Stormcallers are going to make a difference, though, but there is no longer anything to contest the air, and this will be another victory for Bob. Having that missile come down right in the center here and take out those Mustangs as they peeked out of the shield. Tough luck, but these things do happen. Now, unfortunately, what is most likely going to happen is that these Phoenix will chew through this shield. They will turn to shoot at... Oh, I don't know if they will, actually. I was going to say they might turn and shoot at these crawlers, but I don't think they will. I think these Phoenix will eventually just kill this shield, which is $100 lost, unfortunately, for our blue player, before turning around and shooting the crawlers. Oh, we see a couple of Fang. Hero Fang trying to defend the convoy. They will get a crawler. Can they take out 2? There's 3, and the shield goes down before these Phoenixes turn to actually take out the crawlers. Unfortunate for our blue player. Once again, though, we will start to see him continue to have more and more of an advantage as he continues to have more money. I would not hate to see the top supply specialist coming out here from the blue player. Why? Because it will just give him even more of an advantage. He chooses to go for the smoke bomb. Not a bad play. He's been in a rough spot a little bit. He's not in a win-more situation, so I don't blame him for that. The incendiary bomb from Bob. I love this angle just because it is annoying to have these catered or at a cant, just because shields don't do great against them. Now, the blue player needs to be thinking, hey, I saw the incendiary bomb come up. This is why I like it when players just take just a second to look over at what the enemy player's cards could be possibly choosing, because having this fire here does just decimate crawler, crawler, crawler. However, the shields here might be enough to protect it. We see the missiles coming down. Bob still has quite a bit of cash. I wouldn't mind him going for some more Phoenixes. Honestly, the Phoenixes are the things that are surviving throughout the game. There are Mustang on the field with the range upgrade, which will just clear out the Phoenixes over time. But making that soft investment early and then going hard on the Phoenixes could make a big difference. We do see another field recovery here from Bob. He's choosing to recycle a lot of his units. It's not a bad idea, but it does cost a bit of cash if I remember correctly. Where's the research station? I can't see it. I'll check next turn. And being able to get that attack upgrade, I do like that. His units already hit a little bit harder. The fire coming down, and unfortunately that means just death for the entirety of our blue player swarm units. The Mustangs will... Ooh, the Mustangs actually survive it just because they're outside of the range of the fire. Not bad, and we see a big push here on the left. Unfortunately, these Mustangs just standing outside of the fire here for Bob. Other Mustangs on the right collapsing. These Stormcallers will push up and take out the research center. Will it be enough, though? This fortress is just an animal, able to take so much punishment, standing in the fire. It doesn't care. We see that small damage coming out over time. These Mustangs will perish in the flames. But can the Stormcallers do it? Now remember, the smokescreen will be here next turn. The flames go out. Stormcaller on Stormcaller. Eventually... Oh, not looking good. These units are bunched up. Bob's center will collapse. And this fortress is going to deal a lot of damage. Blammo. I do like that transition to the giant unit with the shield. It just gives him so much more cover. The amplifying core will be great. It just makes his units that much tougher, that much more damage. Putting it on a giant unit, there it is. We see the melting point coming out though. Unfortunately, this smoke is going to cut down that melting point again. Smoke, one of the best utility cards that you see for shutting down Stormcallers, for shutting down Marksmen, even for shutting down long-range arc lights. I have seen the arc lights with the range upgrade and the damage upgrade. Once they get to level 3 or 4, they can put out a lot of damage. We have not seen a lot of arc light play in this tournament yet. Going for the level 2 units. I do like this. He has the cash. He could be playing level 2 units every single turn. Opting to recycle another unit. I do like this. It does fully resupply them. Both players opting for the field recovery again. Interesting that they keep recycling and keep changing. Getting the health upgrade is great just because it does offset the cost of the control specialist. Not a bad idea. Giving you 15 XP or HP, losing 15 HP. Every couple of turns, he can offset the loss of his early game card. Neither player opting for any other specialist, though. Here comes the bomb. Devastating. Now this melting point, if it is able to get on target, will be... Yeah, it will be hitting... Nope. I was going to say it could hit the right target here, but just having a bunch of crawlers makes a difference. Here it is, though, eating out the fortress. That will be a quick death here. But again, he just doesn't have what it takes to deal the damage. After the smoke clears, though, he's going to be in a much better spot. He just needs to survive. I don't know if he'll have what it takes, though. These Mustang having the upgrade does help them take a little bit more damage, but more importantly, deal enough damage to kill off these Stormcallers before they get another shot off. Now that he's in on the shields, it will hurt. Can he take it? 3, 2, 1. Oh, very close. Do the Stormcrawlers have the abilities? They do. Wow. Neck and neck. I would not have taken that off. Great job. These Stormcallers, MVPs. Both players playing to the utmost of their ability. You love to see it. Round 6 coming in. We have a lot of cash. Senior attack specialist by Bob, whereas range specialist for our blue player. Interesting. Now, what we could have seen is the range, and I wouldn't have hated that just because he already has the range on his melting point, and getting more range on the Stormcallers would have been great as well. Instead, opting to go for more attack, not a bad idea. It just means that he'll chew through these shields a little bit faster, and that it is something he needs to worry about. Once these fortresses upgrade, they just become significantly more tanky. We do have a missile. We do see both recycling their units once again. What are we going to get here, though? We're almost out of cash for Bob. Eating a unit, going back up and upgrading his melting point. Not a bad idea. 550 bucks here for our blue player in the south. Nothing deployed on either flank. I wouldn't hate a crawler transition. Having the crawlers be able to replicate and dealing more damage just means that they could spam out a lot of crawlers. It'd be expensive, but it would be funny. And he has enough HP to make the transition. These melting points are the name of the game right now, and these melting points are going to decimate his fortresses. Right there, we would see a lot more crawlers come out. Sure, they'd be killed by the Stormcallers, but here comes the second wave. Arclight going down, but not before taking up a lot of damage. These crawlers making a difference, but it won't be enough as the melting point gets onto the fortress immediately. Having these melting points be upgraded just increases their HP that much more, and unfortunately Mustangs just don't have the DPS to deal with it. They will kind of chew through it, but they're supported by these Stormcallers. And this is going to be a lot of damage coming out here from Bob. A great job. Now this does put our red player into the danger zone. After 1200 to 1500 is the point where you could lose at any point in time. I do love this junior manufacturing specialist, but going for the electromagnetic storm for Bob, I think Bob wants to end the game here. If Bob is able to take out these shields, then all of a sudden he stands a great chance to continue moving forward. Both players opting for the electromagnetic shield. We're seeing upgrades on the Mustangs, an interesting choice. Upgrades across the board on the Stormcallers. We have a lot of cash on hand. The electromagnetic field will deal with this shield. I'm not sure it will kill it, though. It has 3,500 damage to shields, and I believe the shield is 40. Yep, so we have our 35,000 versus 40,000. The shield will stand. Opting for his own shields. Interesting choice. The shields will have enough HP to survive this. So he's choosing to make sure that his units live. See, mass shields coming down. An interesting play. These Mustangs will get through those shields, but a little slowly. The fortress is also dealing good damage versus the shields. We still have some crawlers. I don't mind seeing more. Opting for some wasps. Double wasps. Not a bad play. And I do like to see these sentries in the back line just to protect against some cheese. There's the electromagnetic storm. Disabling the range, disabling everything that you need to do. Not a bad idea, but I mean, it is what it is. Neither player really needed it in this case. They just took it as insurance. At least that's my humble opinion. The Phoenix is coming out, or sorry, the Wasps. But unfortunately, these Fang actually do quite a bit of damage against the Wasps and are able to clean that up. Now we see a fortress onto... Oh, this could be close. Those shields are holding. This melting point on the right will be able to take care of it. The one on the left dropping. Now the fortress is slow, though, which gives the Stormcallers more time to deal damage. That isn't enough, I don't think, to take out our blue player. He's going to survive by the skin of his teeth. Alrighty, this is potentially the last round for Bob. Let's see what he does here. Place your... Blammo. See if we can get some chat interactions here. I'd love to see who people think are going to win this. We have 2 more tournaments throughout the day, which could we could see quite a few players returning. All right, opting for some more crawlers. Not a bad idea. A cheap investment. Going for heavy shields once again. We do see lots of missiles and orbital strikes coming down. Interesting that one's going to take out these crawlers in the back. Bob has an incendiary bomb that he can, or bomb. Bob has an incendiary bomb he can place out. We see a lot of damage coming out everywhere. Oh, and the triple fortress with the range upgrade. Really interesting. The nuke coming down. Bob's trying to finish this one off. Spending a lot of his money on quick upgrade, or sorry, not on upgrades, on one-time use items. Not a bad idea. He does also have a barrier. Is he going to attach that barrier? He does. Not a bad choice, just to increase the longevity of his melting points. We see the sentry coming down. More nukes coming down. More sentries coming down. Oh my. Well, there is a giant square on the screen. That's a bug. Here comes the nukes. It's just going to be devastation on the left-hand flank. Seeing the shields drop early is a big problem, though. Here it comes. Blammo! The left-hand side is just a nuclear wasteland. But we do see some of the Mustangs surviving underneath the fortress. They will march from the ashes proud and strong. Is it going to be enough? Yes, they will get onto the research center immediately, which will just decapitate the damage. But is it enough? Unfortunately, these melting points do ramp up damage over time, so it's not that big of a deal for them if the research center goes down and they're on target. It is not enough. GG. This fortress, man, nope, it's not going to have enough. Well done here by Bob. It was amazing to see that fortress march out from under the nukes, though, with the smoke in the background. How cinematic. Great job by Bob. Looks like we still have a couple of games in play. Is there anybody that we recognize here? Let's go with Rock and Rana. This sounds like it could be a lot of fun. Wow. March of the Giants for our top player. A few less giants. We see the rumbling. It's quite fun. My word, look at them. Vulcan, 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 Fortress, Fortress, Overlord, Overlord. More fortresses and a rhino. And another rhino. Gee Louise, with the detonation. Very interesting. I love the final blitz. It can make a difference as long as you don't accidentally friendly fire. Double melting point. Is it enough? Decreases the range, but that's okay. They're going to be in range. Nat will fire 5 rays, which hopefully one will come out on this fortress, one will come onto the other. It's also great for dealing with the mass Mustang. We see more shields. Marksman in the rear dealing with Phoenixes. Mustangs as well. Nothing on the left-hand flank, nothing on the flanks of either players. This is very much do or die for both players in the danger zone. Rana specifically could lose to just a few units surviving. A unit of steel balls would be enough. A unit of Mustang, really anything. The explosion's coming down. Shields fading. Instant death here. I do like this. The melting point is able to get on track much sooner and start taking out units that it needs to take out. Mass beam is not something that we see very often, but look at it just chew through things. And the great thing about that shielding is that the melting point's damage stays increased once it kills the shield. So if it gets onto a giant unit, as soon as that's done, it's lights out for that giant. Sniper's going down, and it looks like this will be a win for knockoff Obi-Wan Kenobi, rock or die trying. Quite an interesting avatar there. There's one game in progress. Let's take a look if we can find it. Woo. Merc versus Weath. Wow. We're entering into the chaos. And Merc wins. Or Merc loses. Good job, Weath, with the scary goth girl girlfriend. Hooray! I wish that... So I just want to talk a little bit about the tournament and the format. Some of the things that I would like to see is a rollover feature, especially for casters like myself, where let's say that Bob wins the game, it just immediately pops me into the next game that's going. That's going to be a future feature that I do suggest. Let's take a look at our rankings. Question marks doing a great job. Bob still in the field. Lull actually losing a game. He did put on a great show last week, but it looks like he may have been outplayed here or just losing a little bit on something. These things happen. Amaria still holding proud. We did watch his games earlier, and he showed a great propensity to recognize potential and seize on it, and I do like that quite a bit. I have not seen Prime Gaming yet, and I haven't seen a lot of these players. Interesting, interesting, interesting. We're going to be on a quick break here. Place your predictions in the chat as to who you think is going to win, and I look forward to seeing you all in a moment. packed. Let's see who we've got going. I would like to see Amaria. Where is he at? Actually, let's go back and watch Bob. Bob played some great games earlier today. He does stand a chance of winning. Greed is good. Rocking the Lich King. My main man Arthas could put a stop to Bob's rampage. Let's see how it goes. Bob going with a quick supply specialist. It was his choice last game, if I remember correctly. An interesting play. Just having that extra cash out does mean that he can opt for a field recovery early. Would have been interesting to see what he ate. Giant specialist, interesting choice. Does mean that he can play out a few more options in the early game. Now, the Giant Specialist does give you quite a bit of cash over time. I do like that quite a bit, just because it can make a big difference when you need to make those big early game transitions. Let's see what happens here. The tanks will be fairly good. Opting for some Stormcallers, not a bad idea. These Stormcallers will decimate the Fang. Now the Stormcallers need to come online and take out these snipers. Unfortunately, oh, they take out the one on the right. The tank's holding strong here in the center. I don't think he has enough. Bob is going to, oh, sorry. Greed is good, is going to push forward and crush Bob's initial bombardments. But it really depends on if these units group up right in time for the Stormcrawlers to launch a volley. Luckily, it does take quite a while for them to march over. They are going to be within range of the Stormcrawlers before they're in range to shoot back. Stormcrawlers launching barrages, taking out the snipers. Do the tanks have enough HP? The answer is going to be no. Unless the Stormcrawlers whiff every shot, they do not. A quick win here by Bob, and an interesting choice. Now, Bob is a huge proponent of... Ooh. Both players opting for the shield device specialist. Man, he just loves to eat his units. Eating a unit of tanks, I believe. Interesting. Instead, opting for Fang. Okay. Fang in the front, just to die. It gives him a lot of extra cash. We see upgrades to the Stormcallers. We do like this. Getting that more splash damage is fun. Greed is good. Putting down some shielding. Going for another unit of crawlers. And saving $100 for next round. This could be the money that he saves in order to get one of those giants. The Stormcallers just decimating the Fang, with those other Fang being right there, grouped up. Are these guys on the outside of the shield? A couple of them were. And they will all go down. These tanks being grouped up again. Oh, but here comes the hero crawlers in the rear. Going to take out these Stormcallers. Why are you OB me? I don't know what OB means. Observing? Yeah, he's probably talking to me. If he doesn't prefer it, I can hop out. Spectator. Watching the games. And I don't know if he'll be able to see that. Great job, though. I hope it's okay. Let's see what we've got coming out for both players. Amplifying cores. I do like this. The amplifying core can make a big difference. There it is, on a giant unit. That's where he saved the cash. This is going to make a great chance to actually move forward. Going with double crawler. Not a bad choice. What is he going to use this core on, I wonder? He might save it for later. Greed is good. Has the upper hand in this coming engagement, as there is not enough anti-air to deal with an Overlord. There's a couple unit of Fang, but that just frankly is not enough. Unfortunately, it's not going to work out for him. So what do we do here? I think Bob is trying to figure out what to do with this cash. He needs more anti-air. He doesn't really have any units that can do so. So he's in a tough spot. What can he do, I wonder? Going with shields. Not a bad play. Not a bad play at all. Let's see here. Opting to recover some more units. What is he going to eat? Instead, putting the core onto the Arclight. Interesting choice. Arclight having a little bit more attack and HP does actually mean it can deal a little bit more damage in the long term. Those Stormcallers making quick work of the Fang again. Stormcallers having the extra damage or having the extra splash damage does help considerably. But again, there's just nothing that shoots up, and that will be that. The Fang doing a great job. The Fang doing a great job in surviving here on the left, but the Crawlers coming in at a later point in time. Not a bad job, taking out the tank, but this was a foregone conclusion. There's just nothing here on Bob's side that can deal with Greed is good. Let's take a look, see if there's anything else. How long will this take? Can he take out these snipers? If he takes out the snipers, it will save him a bit of damage. But unfortunately, he will lose the shield. That's $100 down the drain in a way that he probably didn't want to lose it. This is going to take a minute. Now, if you're in the chat, please feel free to place your predictions on who you think the overall winner will be of the game. Greed is good. Taking a little bit of damage here onto Bob. I do like that. Deployment Specialist by Bob. Not a bad choice. Greed is good. Probably debating between the Super Heavy Armor and the Deployment Specialist. Could make a big difference here. Deployment Specialist for both. Interesting choices. I do like this. Opting for a Melting Point. Bob still has a little bit of cash, going with another Overlord. It will get shut down by the Melting Point if the Melting Point can get on task early. Having these Crawlers upgraded would be great. Hitting a sentry, not a bad idea. Overlords are going to push down the left-hand flank. There is nothing here that can stop this from happening. We don't have enough ranged, unfortunately. But this Melting Point is going to be on task immediately. That's what we want to see. I love that turret actually taking down... Oh, the tank getting in the way. Getting in the way right at the worst time, right before it actually locked on. And now there just simply isn't enough anti-air to deal with this. And we do see another unit of Crawlers. They were in the backline, got cleaned up by Bob's Crawlers. Bob is in contention here. He's suffering. He needs to figure out a way to deal with these Overlords quickly. It has been a significant investment by Greed. However, Greed is a Giant Specialist. Being able to transition quickly away from them, perhaps getting some Vulcans, perhaps getting some Fortresses, could make a difference. It would throw Bob off. His strategy is currently trying to deal with the air units. He needs to think about that. Now, I do like the Melting Point. Lightning Storm by Bob. This can devastate an enemy line. Underground Threat. Interesting. The Lightning Storm is phenomenally powerful. It can just kill everything. Going with some Crawlers here. An interesting choice. The lightning storm coming out on the right-hand flank. We do see the artillery barrage. This just helps him clear out this range, or the chaff on the ground that much quicker. I would like to see a little bit more meat. Bob still has a ton of cash, using it on shields. He was worried about the lightning storm himself. Not a bad idea. He will be surprised when his opponent doesn't pick it. Opting for the resupply and grabbing trucks. These Mustangs will help cut down on the chaff that we see throughout the field, and giving his units the high mobility. Not a bad idea. Why is he doing that? Because he wants to make sure that these Fang and these crawlers are in the way of what he believes will be more melting points. Not a bad idea. Crawlers in the back are going to turn a little bit of these storms. Here comes the lightning. Devastating. It will clear the majority of the right-hand flank. Is it enough, though? I don't think so. These crawlers in the center actually dealing more damage than the lightning storm. Yes, the lightning storm did collapse this right-hand flank, killing a lot of the units, but you know what? These little itty-bitty crawlers are not to be underestimated. And we see a very convincing win here from Greed. The next round could be the deciding factor, which puts Bob on the back foot. Oof. Bob now in the danger zone. Greed making a great showing for himself. Let's see what happens. Seeing the battleship, not a bad choice. Yeah. Just some things in chat that we probably don't want to be publicizing. I do like this mobile battleship by Goo. He's gonna, or Greed. Greed is Goo. Duh. 9999999. Mobile battleship versus haste module. More Fang. Where is he going to position these? The Fang getting a range upgrade as well. Is he transitioning towards a Fang build? It could be an interesting spot. The Fang are not enough anti-air to deal with these overlords. He's counting on the melting points to deal with the overlords. Unfortunately, the Fang do just get decimated by both crawlers and, more importantly, by these stormcallers. We haven't seen any upgrades on the stormcallers yet. These two are new. Could be great here. We don't see any flanking units from Bob. Bob might be missing an opportunity here to throw his opponent off, but right now he just needs to deal with what's coming in the back line. The mothership in the back is going to be difficult. He's opting to kill off these flankers just because he wants his units to approach the front quickly. Also going for the high mobility. This shield will tank the initial shot from the sentry, but not before it kills off nearly a unit of crawlers. But that's that. Having this mothership in the backline makes a huge difference. There's not much that he can do here, and unfortunately, Bob gets swamped and pushed out. GG by both players. The heavy push forward is just a quick loss. Unfortunately, Bob playing a great game, but this will knock him out of the running for the top player. Greed is good, doing a great job here. Pow, 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 pow. And that's that. The Overlord transition was phenomenal. That's why this Giant Specialist can catch you off guard. Let's return to the lobby and see what else is going on here. Queen and 202. Let's take a look. Both players opting to skip. Tons of marksmen from our top player. One Stormcrawler. Some Fang. I do like these Overlords. Now with the artillery upgrade. And we're choosing a mobile recon unit. Our blue player is in a bit of a tough spot. McQueen with the very friendly looking lemur is going to be in a good spot here. He can most likely take a loss. More Overlords coming down. It looks like our anti-air is in the form of these marksmen. Not a bad choice. We have a lot of sentries. Steel balls are going to get absolutely ruined by another sentry. I do like having these overlords in the back just because they can spawn more wasps. You really want a lot of wasps to help deal with the amount of firepower coming out, but it is not going to be enough. Looks like the right and the left collapsing. These overlords trying to do the business. The one on the right is going to drop, but we still have 3 flying as best they can into the center. Taking out snipers. Taking out the research center. Overlords flying proud and strong. These wasps having the shield upgrade means that they actually eat a sniper shot. It blocks 100% of all damage one time. That's the first overlord down. He's got to send out 2 more. The cannons don't have time to activate. He will spawn just a few more. Will it be enough? It might be. He's going to hit it up. Blammo. Looks like the first round that we're watching is going to go for our blue player. McQueen is in a little bit of a pickle. The enemy has spawned a ton of overlords. He needs to respond to these overlords with wasp and shield upgrades. McQueen going for an amplifying core. Interesting. Also going for an amplifying core. We're seeing mass upgrades for the marksman. Not a bad choice. These marksmen are his answer to the overlords. He has to make sure that all of the ground units do die, though. That way the marksmen prioritize shooting up. I do like this little hit squad that they get. These 5 Fang actually can make a difference in absorbing some fire. Not only that, being priority for units like wasps and like crawlers. We see more Mustangs with the anti-aerial specialization. Whoa! Steel balls on the front here to take the damage. Not a bad play. Overlord in the back. I do like this. Too many players just place their giant unit out here on the flank. It does not have enough HP initially to survive and dies. But actually placing these steel balls here will give them just a lot more life. The Mustangs won't really chew through this too much. That sniper will. We're seeing mass shielding coming out for McQueen. Mass shielding coming out for McQueen. A lot. I do like this field recovery coming out from our blue player. It is an underutilized skill. Unless you're Bob. Bob played a lot of it. We don't have many upgrades on these overlords, and I do think that is an issue. Why? Because the snipers... there we go. Getting the reactive plating does help a lot. The armor enhancement, I should say. Just because it does negate a lot of the damage that these Mustangs will do. Here comes the Overlord. It looks like this mass shielding is going to make a difference, though, allowing the Mustangs to stand up to a lot of the Overlord's fire initially. Do the Mustangs... Mustang, please. No, they're just anti-air. But he has collapsed the right-hand flank. He is going to lose the left, and there is a ton of Overlords coming in. With the support of their annoying wasps, that will counter the snipers quite well. We're going to see the research station for our blue player go down. It's just too little too late, as the snipers will be overwhelmed once again by the overwhelming number of wasps. GG. Is it GG? Well, that's possible. 5-2000? Yes, that's going to be game. Great game, everybody. Who do we have left to spectate? Mutevo versus Amaria. Amaria is a contender to win this whole tournament. Mothership versus Orbital Bombardment. Mothership in the back is in range of 2 Phoenixes. That's probably not going to go anywhere. We do hear a nuke. The nuke for Mutevo. Amaria a little bit ahead. Not going too heavy on the Giants. Instead, choosing to play quite a few Phoenix. He's got the tank upgrades with this field maintenance. It does mean that they'll survive significantly longer, not linking their armor. Looks like the melting points don't have any upgrades. We do see the fire bombs for the Vulcans. This will help him clear out a lot of the chaff, and it looks like the rumbling has started. Mass fortresses with shields will be quite good at taking care of a lot of the enemy here. Let's see here how this goes. I do like the orbital bombardment coming out. We do see the nuke. He's trying to win this in a quick and meaningful way. Both shields going down. The flames dropping. Ooh. Those missiles taking out a lot of the enemy units, and this nuclear weapon absolutely devastating the ground forces for Ameria. This is all to play for. Whoever wins this battle will be having, or will continue to have, a shot at the tournament. He does have the Phoenix upgrade, allowing them to respawn. That could make the difference here, but I don't think so. Goodbye to Ameria, showing some great plays here in the early rounds. A quick GG. Well done. I do like how the fortress just stare up, almost able to touch the Phoenixes with their guns, but unable to finally take them out. And they are just respawning away. That's that. Good job, Mutavo. GG all around the shop. We have one more game in progress. It is probably... Oh, really? Jaev. Wow. Well, it's reached its upper limit. Match is over. Who ended up winning? Jaev ended up winning, knocking out question mark, question mark, question mark. Wow, devastating, knocking him out of the tournament. Who do we have left? It's between these players. Greed is good. I do love Arthas. Mutavo made a good showing for himself. And Prime Gaming Officer. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players left. We saw Greed is good play out an entire game, and he did a phenomenal job. Mutavo seemed to be very dominant in the last game that we saw against Ameria, who is by no means a pushover. I have not witnessed Prime Gaming play, but he is a runner-up. We also have another runner-up in the contention. Of course, we do have the North American Tournament Group winner here. This is going to be tough. We will be back in 2 minutes. Sure, so the tournament works in a very simple bracket system. We started off with a number of players. Those players all battle it out to see who is the strongest, who is the best. They continue to get knocked out. You can continue to play the games as long as you don't as long as you don't lose too many. Then you're going to be knocked out completely. But if you lose a single game, you are no longer in contention to win. Here's a brief pull-up of the rules. I'm going to be right back. I will see everybody shortly. Alrighty, and we're back. 8 seconds left. I want to make sure that I hop into these games immediately because we're going to have a lot of observers. Let's go with Prime Gaming. Right there to select it. Our red player versus the blue. What do we have to deal with here? Marksman reinforcements, not a bad choice. It opens up 3 units to him in the early game. And instead we have the quick supply specialist. So Prime Gaming going to be in the red in the north. Mustang. Oh yeah, so I wanted to check this. Yeah, it does cost cash. So they're making a $100 profit if they recycle $200 units. Heavy on the right. Interesting ploy. Choosing to give up his left-hand wing. Not a bad choice. An interesting one. And opting to get another unit. Wow. So he's just going to try and completely overwhelm the right, which he will. This does leave a big open section here on the left. I don't know how many players... A very interesting choice. They are just going to be overwhelmed. He's drawing a lot of the enemy away, which actually kind of plays in his favor. Why do I say this? Because it does take them a lot longer to come down here and reach this research station, and he's going to have more than enough to actually deal with the enemy. Research station going down. Oh, I would have liked it for Prime Gaming if both went down at a very similar time. This will go down and knock the buff out right at the wrong point in time here. He does kill a Stormcaller, but now he's in a rough spot. This Stormcaller might be able to decimate the enemy line. It's in a really auspicious way. He needs to get this buff worn off here quickly. The sniper duel. Yeah, this is going to go the way, if I had to make a prediction right now, the blue player. Just because these tanks are all facing the wrong direction. Oh, a quick snipe. And another one. Will the tanks be able to push through the bombardment? Yes, they will. Wow. Very much a mixed bag here. Great job, though. A very interesting play, just going full ham on the right-hand side. I do like that. Looks like we're going Masked Phoenix versus the Underground Threat. I do like the Underground Threat here, just because he can play it somewhere annoying. Not a bad idea. Choosing to go with the cheaper Phoenix, too. Not bad. It decreases their recruitment cost, but their attack and HP is lower. Opting for Fast Phoenix. I might even like to see these on the flank here from our blue player. He does not have the ability to redeploy these, though, so I understand why. We see the crawlers coming out. More crawlers coming out here. What is he going to do? He's using this sentry to kill the enemy crawlers. Then the Phoenix will come and take out the research station. He's hoping that his Stormcallers will be enough. He's choosing to eat a unit. What does he eat? Whatever was here. Possibly getting another unit of Stormcallers. Just to continue the bombardment on this side. Not a bad play. Or... he's in a tough spot. He's got $200. I would like to see the Stormcallers just because it does help deal with this. We see a lot of people voting for Prime Gaming in the chat, but that's why I have it covered. Yep, another unit of Stormcrawlers here on the left. Now, what could be an interesting play is putting these Stormcrawlers right near the front would knock out the research station anyways. Oof! That sentry killing the Phoenix early. Really rough. And here come the mass crawlers. Bah! Easy win, and these crawlers being upgraded mean that they just chew through the enemy much quicker. And this is going to be a devastating win here for Prime Gaming. You guys think that this is illegal strat or kind of cheese? Kind of both. I will say that this is very aggressive. It's very aggressive. I don't know. Why? I can't understand you, but it seems like it's going to be pretty tough. Tell me in the chat what you guys think. Is this a legal strategy or is this kind of cheese? Going with the aerial specialist, I do like this. It will allow him to transition away when he needs to. Opting for wasps. Interesting placement. Wasps on the flanks could do it. I do like these stormcallers. He needs to deal with the cheese. We have crawlers in the back line. There's the phoenix in the back that I was waiting for from our blue player, eating the other phoenix. Not a bad idea. That it returns him $100. He does not know about the aerial specialist though, and this could harm him. He's got $250 left to spend on the blue player side. We do see a full deployment here by Prime Gaming. He is going to choose to save this 50, it looks like. Not a bad idea. It allows you to unlock some mid-tier units for free. Going with another Phoenix. He chose to eat the Phoenix, then redeploy the Phoenix. Very good counter pick here by Prime Gaming again. Interesting placements. These Phoenix will instantly die. Very interesting choice here. Very, very interesting choice. While this plays out, I'm just going to go onto twitch.tv real quick and make sure that my latency is a little bit further behind, just so that the players won't be able to see what each other are doing, just to be safe. You never know, right? Let me make sure that this is just a little shorter. Come on. There we go. Settings, stream. There we go. Hopefully this delays things out a little bit longer, just to be safe. We do see the upgraded snipers. Interesting choice, and upgrading these stormcallers. The crawler spam is real. He's got Fang on this side now to deal with these phoenixes. Going with the tanks. Wasps in the background. I do like this. Good play here by our blue player. Prime Gaming choosing to continue to move forward aggressively. I do like the movement speed and attack speed increase of the tanks. Tanks, one of the most underutilized units here. Oh, but I do love the Stormcallers. This is just going to knock him right out of this round pretty much immediately. Even putting the shields on them. Phenomenal play here. We've got the crawlers coming in on either side. Not going to make a big difference. The swarm units will eventually win this flank for him on the right, but they will be stunned, at least shortly. We're going to have some more swarmers on both sides here. He does have the Arclight ability to shoot up, which does deal with wasps quite well. We see the barrage coming down, and it is good, taking out the research station. Those Fang easily able to clean up the Phoenixes, though. These Phoenixes trying to stand proud against the Marksmen. The Marksmen do not have the attack increase or a speed increase, though, so they will eventually go down. These Marksmen dealing well with the Wasps. They had a few reinforcements. There was quite a few more of them. These Phoenix need to kill the Marksmen, and then unfortunately, they have to kill several Wasps and some more Fang. There's a lot to play for here. These Wasps getting distracted on units that they don't need to be worried about, and this hero sniper might have enough in him to actually take out all of these little Fang, especially with the support. It all comes down to these Wasps. Do they have the damage? The answer is no, and a quick, devastating win by our southernmost player. Oh, he's going to snipe it right on time. Prime Gaming taking a little bit of damage here, evening the score out in a big way, almost even Stevens across the board. I do like this quite a bit. Going with the incendiary bomb, not a bad choice. Versus a strike specialist, interesting. The strike specialist is going to make his deployable units come in that much faster. We don't see anything here on the left-hand flank. His right, if we're looking at it from the north side player. I would love to see some units coming in on this side. Swap it on back here. Some tanks, not a bad idea. The tanks, unfortunately, will do nothing against the air support that we currently see from Prime Gaming. Does Prime Gaming lean into his air? A good question. We see Phoenixes. Lots of Phoenixes. Not a bad choice. Just because he does need to take care of Phoenixes. I do like this Rhino. The Rhino won't make it in, I don't think, in time, but it will clear up this entire flank. Prime Gaming opting for the deployment of these crawlers, as we called it. Looks like he also chooses to get the level 2 units and more of them. This will mean that they can actually swarm out this sniper. And the Rhinos, a great investment. Choosing to get some more cash. Prime Gaming going for the kill here. I'm not sure these crawlers will do enough. I would have preferred them to be a little bit closer to the front. He's going to make them aggressive. Be aggressive. Sentry turret coming down. Taking them out. That means that his units are going to be significantly faster. But there's the flames cutting down that early aggression. Look at him go, though. They're going to clean this up. The question now is there enough? The answer is no. These Phoenixes will do a lot of damage, but they are in hot contention against what's going to be a lot of Wasps and a lot of Snipers. Unfortunately, all of our Southern players' units will walk into the fire and take a lot of damage in the meantime. Are these... Ooh, these Phoenixes are going to take the units right when they need it, right before the engagement, slowing everything down, coming in at a great angle to take out these Wasps. I might put my money now on our southernmost player. Phoenixes will take out the Wasps as they continue to shoot the Fangs, and he does have a few low health tanks in support, but that one Stormcaller dealing the business, having the extra splash damage, does make a big difference here, and a quick win for Prime Gaming. Or sorry, for our blue player, a loss for Prime Gaming. All right, we're seeing a lot of units coming out here. 1 second. What are we going to do? Mass smoke bomb. That is going to be a huge issue. I do like this, as it will just completely neuter this right-hand flank. Opting for more cash. Not a bad idea. Both players in the smell of blood. Grabbing some more tanks. Tanks are not a bad choice against this. I'm just super worried about... Well, this Phoenix is having the shields. Not a bad choice. These tanks coming out right in the right position, in the back. That's what I like to see. Having units slowly move their way forward. They're by no means going to deal with the enemy tank, but this Overlord certainly will. You know what else is very good for the Overlord? Getting rid of Wasps. Wasps normally don't handle Overlords very well. The Overlord also having the parasitic ammo. Wow, and that is a quick, devastating death for this Rhino. But here's the smoke, and that's really going to be what makes the difference here. All of these Stormcrawlers having to slowly push through the smoke. Looks like the research center going down. Crawlers in the back line, though. Getting shot by the Wasps, there's nothing that they can do about it. These Wasps will eventually take out the command center. Research station going down. Oh, it happens at a bad time. Once again, we see this right flank trying to push up. The Stormcallers are now finally in position. The DPS of the Overlord is enough to take out Wasps even while it's been neutered. But it will prioritize these Fangs, most likely. No, turning on the Wasps. That's what I like to see. It will be enough. Another win for our blue player here. Is it enough to actually kill off the enemy. We see some more... Oh, if these crawlers survive, it's a little bit more damage. Is it enough? It is enough. GG, everybody. GG. Really good plays here. Let's return to the lobby. Nobody is perfect. Greed is Good is still online. Let's see how he's holding up. Old Arfus himself. Oh my. It's looking crazy. Choosing to go with a photon emission in the early game is not a bad play. I do like this quite a bit. Could make a phenomenal difference against a lot of these enemy players. Alrighty, let's see what we've got on the field here. Looks like some Phoenixes, some Vulcans, some Stormcallers, lots of Fang. Unupgraded Fang. We don't see Fang normally getting many upgrades. Arclight's still here just to protect the flanks. The Rumblein is here. We have a ton of fortresses. Photon emission coming down. We do have a lot of abilities coming down for both players. And the nuke. Will Greed is Good be able to survive this coming onslaught? I don't know. The photon emission will save him from a lot of these missile strikes. He does not have a lot of beef to actually deal with the nuke, but his units are slow here. They're going to take a lot of damage. I do like this transition to heavy overlords. The overlords are also very good at getting rid of these flanks, or getting rid of these phoenixes. They are going to get rid of the flanks quite well too. The burning coming down, getting rid of all of the meat. Is it enough, though? Here comes the nuke. Oh, it is devastating. The right flank going in the way of Greed is Good, but the left definitely going to our blue player. Nope. That is a complete crumbling and a complete loss. Poor Greed is Good. Did his best. GG. An excellent game. That knocks Greed out. Who do we have going in for the final battle? It looks like it's going to be our two players, the mini tournament champion winner of last week, and another player we have not seen yet. Looks like there's 3 left. How has this happened? Could view this 1v1. Let's see how Lull is doing. Lull is a player to beat. Whoa, okay. Nukes. Explosions. Blood and death. Everything is on fire. This nuke actually coming down once most of the units have actually moved out of range of it. Will this Overlord be in range? No. The nuke kind of whiffing. Lull, oh, with Total Biscuit. You gotta see it. Losing to CHR. We saw him play earlier. Let's see how College is playing versus Who Am I? Again, huge amounts of Giants units coming out for both of these players. Heck. Alrighty. Quick loss for College. We've got one more game in progress. It is probably just going to be a mess, though. It is kind of weird just coming in on these games near the end. It's just mass violence. Oh, I do like this rhino. Choosing to run away. Run away. Not a bad idea. Lots of sentries coming down. More sentries coming down. The rear does have the panic rhino. Oh my. Okay. Okay. Lots of overlords, lots of madness. Choosing to place down a few more units. Looking like some extra turrets. Oh, here we go. Another unit of Wasp. Not a bad idea. We see full upgrades in the research center. I do like that. Oh my gosh, it is just a bloody mess. These Wasps eventually dealing with it and killing off this Overlord very quickly. Both Overlords in the back flank standing strong, and we see the research center going down to this extremely angry Rhino. Look at him go, running away. Actually pulling a Rhino with him. Look at him go. Man, he just moved this entire army off of the flank, allowing the player, our bottom player here, to get his melting points online. Is it too little too late, though? The melting point needs to shoot the Rhino. The Rhino is just going to have so much health. And that won't be enough, I don't think so. Nope, that is a devastating amount of damage. He is not spawning more Wasps, so at least the damage won't continue to grow. Oof. And it is all to play for. Seeing mass shields. I'd like to see mass shields just because these, there it is. Just because there's a lot of tricks that can come out here. Yep. Phenomenal. Maybe upgrading his overlords would be good. These rhinos are actually doing the business. I did like that one little rhino just fleeing up the field, pulling the entire enemy with him, and then running back away. It's very funny. But that's the power of the rhino. He's tough, he's fast, he's annoying. We see a lot of missiles coming down. A lot of missiles coming down. This is just to decimate the enemy front line. Giving his melting points the ability to shoot. We do see the energy diffraction. This is great. It just allows them to start hitting many opportunities. And the upgrade, phenomenal. Grabbing another one. I do like to see this. Jev's out of money. We still have $400 here for Kuro. Kuro is an aerial specialist with Wasps and a senior manufacturing. All of his giants are cheaper. Reinforcements, Wasps, and speed. Oh, I love the speed. The speeds are going to help him bring these Wasps where he needs them. Unfortunately... Oh, it's not enough. One Wasp surviving. We'll have to pay attention to that Wasp. The old square surviving. Look at these things coming online, though. Eventually starting to melt down these rhinos. He needs to survive just a little bit longer. It is not enough to kill the rhino, but it is enough to deal significant damage to this flank. Both the melting points going down, though. They're trying. They've got the lasers. But no, the Overlord's going to stand proud, dealing too much damage. This hero rhino having so much HP, essentially being a level 6 rhino. Phenomenal. It just had too much Josh. And that's game. We're going to take a 3-minute break here. I'm going to make sure that is this the top division of the Asian tourney? Sure is. Let's see what we've got going on in here. Oh, looks like my square has survived. There's one round left. And then we'll be going into what is potentially the final round. Okay, square. Thank you very much. I got to be careful about that. Wow! Here it comes. The oil coming down, or the acid, being blocked by a shield, but not enough to kill off these crawlers. The crawlers will make it in, but they are being chewed apart. The Overlord standing proud. Let's see if these snipers can counter-sniper. Do the crawlers have the upgrade where they can chew through and produce more? Hard to tell. Looks like the center going to the way of our top player here, Jib. Question is, are these Stormcallers going to be enough to clean this up? It doesn't look likely, especially because they cannot shoot up. KW gonna be in a really rough spot here. He's gonna take significant damage from these overlords who are just spawning more wasps. The longer this game goes on, the more wasps will spawn, the more damage he'll take. So in this case, it's actually better for Jib to have his units get distracted. Hopefully they come after this shield for Jib. That allows him to, 1, knock that shield out for next turn, and 2, spawn just more wasps. This is going to slow everything down, allowing him to get just a little bit more damage. That's another 8 wasps. I forget how much wasps do. I think they're 4 damage each, which is just a little bit more. I don't think he'll be able to spawn another set of them. Definitely not. And that's that. Wasps are 17 damage. Wow. All right, both players near the end of their game. Let's see how it goes. We see a photon for our top player. Man, both players moving very quickly here. Oh my word, look at this, just madness. I do like having these overlords here on the left-hand flank. These Stormcallers making a good show of themselves. Having the electromagnetic shock is pretty good. They're not enough to clean it up, though. Oof. These overlords need to start shooting the things that are shooting them. They're his last hope. 2 overlords versus 2 overlords. His do not have any upgrades, though, versus the overlords with wasps. Getting the drop, though, it's not going to be enough. Will it be enough to kill him? Very much depends on how many wasps come out here. This sniper probably going to be enough. Oh, it's taking damage from the poison. Ticking down. And it's gone. There goes the overlord. Can he spawn another unit of wasps? Probably yes. It's another 17 times 4 damage. That might be enough. It will not be enough. One more round. Gee Louie. What a close game. Let's see how it goes. Yes. What are both players going to be picking up here? Looks like a deployment specialist would be good, but they're both thinking about it. The incendiary bomb could be huge, and Jib taking the incendiary bomb. Kdax choosing to go with the deployment specialist. I do want this incendiary bomb right here. Opting to go for, what is this, his electromagnetic blast? This is a lot of damage. Getting rid of those shields, and then playing out the bomb. They both kind of deploy at the same time. I'm unsure how that will work. The snipers getting this range upgrade could be great. Mass March of the Steel Balls, though, getting huge upgrades across the board. I do love this. They're very tough units. Getting Wasps of its own and upgrading the Overlords to level 3. We see the shield come down. Double shield come down. Getting the Overlord's artillery means that they're going to be dealing a lot more damage to the ground. This could be the last game. Well, win or lose, unless it's a tie, which has happened to me in the past. Very, very unlikely. I've probably played about 100 games at this point and maybe had like 2 or 3 ties. Both players running it down to the wire. Ooh. K looked like he still had $200 in the bank there. There's the blast. Unfortunately, this shield is enough to protect them. I do like these Overlords at level 3, and it looks like we have the Mass Steel Balls and an Overlord coming in on this flank. Those flankers were not enough to take care of business. It did pull the enemy away for a time, which will allow him to possibly win the center, but it looks like it's just a rollover. These Steel Balls having so much HP at this point, being able just to continue to move. More Mustangs, more Overlords. That's going to be a GG. Well done by both players. Great game, everybody. Great game. Next round, starting in 3 minutes. Who was it? It's 3 players have somehow gone 5 wins. I'm not really sure. Oh, it's because somebody abandoned. Oh, quite a few players have been abandoned or eliminated. Interesting. There just somehow became an odd number of players, which means I'm not sure how we're going to decide the winner of this. But we'll be back in 2 minutes. I need some more water. Stay tuned, and we'll talk more Mechabellum. Looks like these are our top 2. Whoever wins this is going to knock the other out. We've seen both these players play before. Blue in the bottom, red in the top. We've got the supply specialist for red. I don't mind this for our top player. Giant specialist for the bottom. Very interesting choices here. This could make some differences. Let's see if it's enough. Alrighty, initial engagement coming in. We have quite a few. Oh wow, this is scrappy. We have quite a few Phoenixes. An interesting choice here. With the arc lights, those will eventually clean up these Fang. He has to clean up all the Fang. He's not going to clean them all up, and this Phoenix might be out of luck here. They do die to Fang very quickly, unfortunately. He just needs to clear enough that way these Phoenix can make it back in time to deal with the Fang hordes. The Phoenix will probably get caught out on these Stormcallers, though, and I don't believe 2 are enough to take out what looks to be a dozen Fang. Though taking out these Stormcallers, ooh, it's going to hurt. That's that. Taking out these Stormcallers will survive, or will knock down the amount of damage that he's going to take, so it's probably worthwhile there. Not bad plays at all. See another Stormcaller going down. Does the Phoenix get off another shot? Yes, it does. One more. Fantastic. Just taking out some Fang. Little boop boops. Little kisses. You gotta love it. What do we have next? Some missile strikes. Not a bad play. What else, though? What is our red player going to choose for here? He's got a lot of free options. I don't mind this oil, just because it does come back over and over. The Mustangs could be fun. He could unlock Mustangs and get more Mustangs. Mustangs do cut through some of these crawlers. Going for the Wasps. Interesting choice. We see an upgrade on the Fang. Missile coming down. Getting Wasps in the center. To come in at a later point. Our blue player choosing to grab this missile is going to make a big amount of noise. What does he need here? He grabs some more... He grabs some more crawlers. Oh, here's the Wasp in the back rank. These Phoenix will go after them. I don't think that these Wasps will be able to do the business, just because they're going to have to chew through all of these crawlers before anything happens. Or at least they'll aggro on the crawlers. I'm unsure. Still have $200 in the bank for both players. We should think about what it is that he's got in order to make this work. Potentially... What is he waiting for? You've got $200. Are you going to save it? No. He goes for the shield. Not a bad play. The shield is going to save him from this missile strike. Blammo. Taking no damage. Not a bad play whatsoever. Looks like we have Mass Fang in the center. They're going to deal with this quite well. The crawler will be able to chew through this. These trees... on blue fire. Really weird. Don't know why that's happening. The Phoenix is again going to clean up this right-hand flank. And the Wasps coming in, actually being able to deal with those Phoenixes. It looks like this could go either way. The Phoenix take it out. This is going to be that weird trade again, where the Phoenix will come online first, they'll come kill this, the Wasps will most likely kill this before the Phoenix redeploy, and that will be that. Oh, you know why the trees look like they're on blue fire? It's from the shield. Really interesting. Let's see what's going on here. We have the Wasps doing exactly what I predicted. These Phoenix might kill the shield, which is a $100 return. For free. The Wasps will slowly chug along. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if these Phoenix will turn in time. No, they're going to opt to kill the shield and the Wasps. Wow! A little tickle back for the red player. Both teams still neck and neck. It looks like it's going to be a very close game. Assault Fang coming out, not a bad idea. Oh, I love the Stormcallers. This is a great play by our blue player. Just to be able to deal with it, we see the red player opting for Phoenixes of his own. Interesting choice. He's going mass air. There is still not a good... Okay. The Wasps moving. Not a bad play either. He chose to put down this sentry, which is now just a wasted investment. He was able to lock up $50. Where are the Phoenix, though? Oh, he ate the Wasps. Not a bad play whatsoever. I love it. It looks like we're going to see the left-hand flank get rolled up by the mass crawler. Phoenix Wars now. It looks like our top players' Phoenixes do have the drop, at least initially. There are several more of them on the field. It's even Stevens now. But these crawlers will make a difference. The Phoenix will prioritize shooting the crawlers on the ground. I love this mass crawler assault just to put a lot more targets on the ground. We have seen that by a lot of the top players recently, and it is working very well. Alrighty. What a game. It is all still to play for. Shield Specialist coming down. Speed is going to be huge here. I do like this. This means the crawlers get in faster. The super heavy armor might be tempting. The haste module is tempting. The aerial specialist for our red player would also be tempting as well. Just as he does have some Phoenix, being able to transition into an Overlord, having it be a little bit more range would be good. Choosing to skip though. Not interested. Not today, he says. I'm going to grab my Wasps and I'm going to play my way. Very interesting choice. Now, if he was paying attention, he'd know that this is going to go off. He might be choosing to let these Wasps die so as next turn to have them again. A very interesting choice. We hear him munch something. And he still has 800 buckaroonies. What is he going to play out? He has all the cash in the world. Our blue player already good to go. He has 30 seconds left to choose. Yep, he needs to get another unit here. But what? Assault Fang? Some more crawlers? Maybe another unit of Stormcrawlers? A Phoenix could do it. Opting for some more Stormcrawlers with the range. Not a bad choice. He could try for the cheese. Put a Stormcrawler right here. It's able to bombard this tower, or this tower. Would also get, potentially, a kill on these arc lights. Opting not to go for it. Seeing a lot of these crawlers go down early. The mass Stormcrawlers taking out a few of the crawlers early again, but the crawlers just able to come through and decimate. These Stormcrawlers need support. They need something for the crawlers to get stuck on, or else this will continue to be the trend. We see the Phoenixes standing proud over the battlefield, able to push through without much of an issue. These Stormcrawlers do not have the range, but they don't need it. Able to push up and take out the enemy Stormcrawlers even before the Phoenix are able to reach them. Fantastic job. Both going for the laser sight. I love to see it. Choosing to eat another unit. He ate his Phoenix. He ate the Wasps. I don't know really why he played the Wasps over here. He knew that there was a sentry there. Maybe to try and get him to deploy another one? Instead, we see Mustangs coming out for the blue player, making some quick second decisions. I do like this. And it looks like the missile coming down. We see the shield again, just like last time. He's prepared for it. He's worried about it, and he knows. Where are we going to see this laser sight deployed, though? He still has a lot of cash. Going onto these Phoenix with the upgrade, not a bad idea. More Mustangs coming down. These Mustangs are great anti-Phoenix, and also they will just help with these crawlers pushing through, getting to where they need to be, because unfortunately, oh well, we do see Mustangs coming down for the red player as well, that are good at missile interception. You know what that means? These Stormcrawlers now become more and more defunct. Here comes the missile. It does, wow, it does take out some Phoenix. That is unfortunate. Missile definitely paying for itself at this point. Here come the Mustang, just chewing away and also canceling a lot of the Stormcrawlers' fire. Unfortunately, when they shoot up, they're no longer shooting at the ground, so them canceling out does leave them vulnerable to being attacked by crawlers. But this is a much better situation for our top player than what we've seen. Those crawlers used to be getting right into the storm crawlers and causing mass devastation. Now, not as much. Unfortunately, we still don't have enough that shoots up and on these Phoenix left on the field. And this is just a delayed reaction for our blue player. Another win, but only by the skin of his teeth. What a game. Two orbital bombardments coming down. Not a bad choice. We see it coming down here. Now, he knows that there's a shield here. This shield has been evident before, but we did hear it come out just a moment ago. Going with more shields. Choosing to eat something. Here's the other orbital bombardment. It looks like he's put some crawlers in the back line. I like this from the blue player. The Phoenix have a range upgrade, so they will outrange the other Phoenix. Going with mass arc light. Not a bad play. These arc lights don't have any upgrades, though. We'll see what he does with this. The Mustang's coming down. It looks like a pretty good spot to be in. Him. Not great. Not great for the enemy player. Let's see what he can do to open up a better usage. Interesting. I do like that he grabs some more. Oh man, that bombardment just hammering the right flank. Losing most of his Mustang. Not great. And we see those Phoenixes dropping again on the right-hand side. Huge devastating loss in the center. Enemy Phoenix pushing up the field. Blue player looking like he's going to win this round again. Not a bad play. Though the enemy crawlers are in the field still. The red player's crawlers able to survive the bombardment and move forward. But we did see mass arc light coming down. An interesting choice that has paid off. These arc lights are able to survive quite a bit of the Stormcaller shots. Not only that, they clean up these crawlers in a great way. Big damage coming in. Red player is now in the danger zone. Barriers coming down. It's a good way to be. Alrighty. Oh, I do like these Vulcans, excuse me. I do like the Vulcans coming down. Backed up against a fortress, though. The fortress is a pretty good counter to a Vulcan. It does just deal with it very well. We see more crawlers. Unfortunately, not a great play by the blue player. These Vulcans will chew through them. What are we going to do? I would like it to see also maybe an Overlord or two. These Mustangs do not shoot down the enemy missiles. Here it comes. He's able to clean up all of the crawlers. This barrier taking a lot of damage from the fortress. And look at how much damage this fortress has done to the front line. Able to just clear up all of these Mustangs. All of the left-hand side's chaff is just gone. This is going to be devastating. Great moves by the Stormcallers, targeting down the enemy units. Does he have enough to deal with the Phoenix, though? It's 4 Phoenix to 2. 2 Phoenix to 2. It's not going to be enough. Once again, needing more anti-air, but he has the answer for the ground now. The ground war finally going in the way of our top player. He's going to take a little bit more damage, but it is going to be rough. We're losing a few frames in the stream as more and more people come online. I will have that fixed here shortly. I believe this might be the championship match, though. I'm not sure how it's going to go with 3v5, especially if the other player loses his round. This could be the end of it. We do see another fortress coming down. Double fortress, looking powerful. What are we going to do here? It looks like we're going to be moving some more units to the front, grabbing the movement upgrade. I do like this. Just having his units move a bit quicker. I'm not sure about this deployment of the fortress. Here comes the nuke, baby! Let's see if it makes a difference. It would take out the Stormcallers. That's about it. I'm not sure. It might be a desperate attempt here by the player on the top-hand side. An interesting ploy. I do like these crawlers in the back, still delaying things, but they will just die so quickly. More crawlers in this back-end side. We have not seen any upgrades on these crawlers, though, even though there are many of them on the field.